Beloved soul, the very moment your eyes met this line was a moment heaven arranged long before this day began, and Archangel Michael has been sent by the Creator himself to place this message directly into your hands because your spirit has finally ripened into readiness to receive what has been waiting patiently for you across many quiet seasons. This is a divine appointment, sealed and sent, and God the Father is drawing near to you at this exact second with a love so vast that it holds every star suspended in its place and yet still leans close enough to know the precise weight your heart has carried in silence through the long nights nobody witnessed. You feel that warmth rising in your chest right now because the presence of the Most High is filling the space where you sit, and Archangel Michael stands at the threshold with his sword lowered in perfect peace, guarding this sacred connection so that nothing in the world interrupts what your soul is about to receive from the throne of grace. The Father says that everything you have walked through has been quietly leading you to this precise stillness, to this recognition, to this holy moment where the truth becomes clear enough to change the entire direction of your life from this point onward. You were guided here by deliberate design, and the restlessness you have felt lately, that quiet knowing that something greater is stirring just beneath the surface of your ordinary days, that feeling is the sound of your destiny arriving at your door. Beloved soul, God is speaking over your life in these very minutes, and his voice carries the same authority that spoke light into the darkness and called order out of chaos, the same voice that now speaks abundance, peace, restoration, and favor over every single thing that concerns you and every person you love and every dream you were once afraid to name aloud. Archangel Michael reveals that you have been chosen for a shift that most people spend their entire lives hoping for and never fully receiving, and the reason it is reaching you now, in this generation of your journey, is that your heart stayed soft through everything that tried its best to harden it. You kept believing when belief cost you something real. You kept loving when that love was not returned to you. You kept rising each morning when it would have been so much easier to stay down in the dark, and heaven recorded every single one of those choices as a genuine act of faith written in a book that never loses a page. The Father says that faith is the true currency of miracles, and yours has quietly accumulated into a reservoir that is now about to overflow its banks into every area of your existence at once. If your spirit recognizes the truth vibrating in these words, let this moment be sealed by pressing the subscribe button now, because this is how you remain aligned with the messages the Creator is faithfully sending, and Archangel Michael wants you connected so that the very next revelation reaches you at the exact appointed time it is meant to arrive. This is not about numbers and it is not about attention, beloved soul, it is a sacred link between your listening spirit and the guidance that is flowing steadily toward you. And by subscribing you are declaring boldly to heaven that you are open, that you are listening with your whole heart, and that you are ready to receive everything the Father has already prepared. Stay with this message all the way to the very end, because the fullness of the blessing unfolds itself in the moments that follow, and each layer opens the next one after it in perfect order, revealing more of what the Father has stored up for you the longer you remain present and attentive before Him. God the Father says that He has watched you carry burdens that were never yours to hold, and today He lifts them from your tired shoulders with the same gentleness a parent uses to lift a sleeping child from one room into another without ever waking them. The weight felt so heavy because you were never designed to carry it in isolation, and now the Creator Himself steps fully into partnership with you, taking firm hold of the load so that you can finally exhale the breath you have been holding for far too long. Archangel Michael extends his hand and pours a supernatural strength into your very being, a strength that steadies the trembling knees, clears the crowded mind, and reminds your spirit that you were built by heaven to overcome. The atmosphere around you is shifting right now, beloved soul, and what you feel as warmth upon your skin is the living confirmation that heaven has drawn close and that this message is only just beginning to open itself before you, layer upon layer, promise upon promise, until the fullness of what the Father intends has been fully spoken over your waiting and receptive life. Beloved soul, the Father wants you to understand something now that will completely reframe every struggle you have ever known, because there has always been a hidden architecture standing behind the events of your life that your eyes have not yet been permitted to see in full. The delays you experienced were never rejection, they were careful preparation, and the doors that closed in your face were closed by the deliberate hand of God to keep you from walking into rooms that would have quietly cost you your peace, your health, or your destiny. What felt at the time like painful loss was so often protection wearing a heavy disguise, and Archangel Michael has been sent to lift that disguise so that you can finally see the truth with clear eyes. Every long season you spent waiting in the quiet was a season in which the Creator was patiently building something inside of you that could only grow in stillness, and now that construction is complete, the harvest begins. The Father says that you have often wondered privately why your particular path felt steeper than the paths of those walking beside you, why you seemed to be tested in ways that others around you were somehow spared, and the answer heaven gives is that you were being carefully forged for a purpose that requires a far stronger vessel than an easy life could ever produce. Beloved soul, the purest gold is refined in the hottest fire, and the intensity of everything you endured is directly proportional to the magnitude of what you are now about to carry into the world. You are not behind schedule, you are precisely on time, walking a divine timeline that bends and rearranges itself in your favor the very moment your heart says a full and trusting yes to the Father. What once took years is about to take mere months, and what once took months is about to take only days, because the speed of grace accelerates dramatically for those who come into true alignment with the will of God. Archangel Michael reveals that heaven has already fought entire battles on your behalf in realms that your natural eyes were never able to see, dismantling elaborate plans that were designed specifically to break your spirit and silencing the voices that were arranged in secret against your very name. There were ordinary mornings you woke up simply because the Creator commanded the day itself to release you back into life, and there were moments you survived that human logic cannot begin to explain, and that survival was nothing less than the visible fingerprint of God pressed firmly upon your life. You are covered, beloved soul, wrapped completely in a divine protection that has been fully active far longer than you ever consciously knew, and that very same protection now escorts you personally into the abundance that is arriving at your door. The Father declares plainly that what was stolen from you is being restored, what was delayed is being delivered, and what was broken is being rebuilt into something stronger than it ever was before. This message reaches your soul on this specific day because your obedience to simply stay present and to keep listening has opened a living channel, and all of heaven responds to that kind of openness with immediate movement in the unseen realm. If these words are stirring something real and undeniable within you right now, let your own voice rise in agreement and type the words "I receive" in the comments below, because when you openly declare your readiness you personally activate the flow of everything that is coming toward you. This is not a small or empty gesture, beloved soul, it is a genuine spiritual signature written upon the covenant the Father is making over your life in this very hour, and Archangel Michael takes that declaration and carries it directly before the throne of grace. Speak it with quiet confidence, not as a fragile hope but as a truth already firmly established in heaven, and then watch how quickly the atmosphere around you begins to rearrange itself entirely in your favor. Beloved soul, the Creator wants to address the deep loneliness you have felt even while standing in crowded rooms full of people, the persistent sense that no one in your life truly sees the full depth of what you quietly carry, and He says to you now with certainty that you have never once been unseen for even a single moment of your entire existence. God the Father has watched every tear you carefully hid from the world, has heard every whispered prayer you spoke into the darkness when you thought no one was near, and has held every fragile hope you were too afraid to say out loud, and today He answers all of it at once with a nearness that you can genuinely feel settling over you. Archangel Michael stands right beside you as living, breathing proof that heaven has assigned its full and undivided attention to your journey, and the message now deepens further as the Father prepares to speak the decrees that will completely reshape the reality you live in. Beloved soul, hear now the decrees that God the Father speaks with authority over your life, and let each individual word settle down into your spirit like precious seed pressed into fertile and waiting ground, because these are not fragile wishes floating on the wind, they are firm declarations spoken with the full authority of the One who created all things that exist. It is decreed by heaven that abundance now flows freely toward you from both expected and completely unexpected sources, that provision rises to meet you at every single turn of your road, and that your genuine needs are met with an overflow so generous that it spills naturally into the lives of the people you love the most. The Father decrees openly that your mind is being renewed even now, that bright clarity is replacing the old confusion, and that the heavy fog which once clouded your important decisions is lifting completely so that you can see the path ahead with brilliant and settled certainty. Archangel Michael seals each decree the very instant it is spoken, and heaven itself records it as unchangeable law over the whole of your life. It is decreed with authority, beloved soul, that a deep and abiding peace becomes your natural and habitual state of being, a peace that firmly anchors you when outer circumstances shift beneath your feet and steadies you completely when the world around you grows loud and demanding, the kind of divine peace that surpasses all human understanding and guards your heart like an unbreachable fortress. The Father decrees that your physical body is being restored and renewed, that true rest is returning to your nights, that fresh vitality is rising within your days, and that the tightness and tension you have carried for so long in your chest is releasing fully as His tangible presence takes its rightful place within you. It is further decreed that your relationships are being carefully realigned by heaven, that the souls truly meant to walk beside you are being drawn near to you, and that the connections which quietly drained your energy are gently making their exit so that spacious room is created for the ones who will finally recognize your light and openly celebrate it. God the Father decrees clearly that your finances are now entering a genuine season of stability and steady increase, that the sharp anxiety which used to grip you every time you honestly looked at your circumstances is being fully replaced by a settled and unshakable confidence, and that doors of real opportunity are opening before you that require absolutely no forcing on your part because they were opened directly by His own hand. Beloved soul, it is decreed by heaven that you will one day look back upon this exact season of your life as the definite turning point, the precise moment the momentum decisively shifted, the very day the Creator spoke and the invisible began steadily becoming visible in your hands. Archangel Michael declares firmly that these words carry real and measurable weight in both the spiritual realm above and the physical world you live in, and that as they are spoken aloud they immediately begin their patient work of transformation, moving hidden pieces quietly into place that you will very soon see with your own natural eyes. It is decreed by the Father that your true purpose is now fully awakening within you, that the singular gift He lovingly placed inside of you long before you were ever formed in the womb is rising steadily to the surface of your daily life, and that the deep passion you once set aside because the demands of survival required all of your attention is now being carefully handed back to you with an entirely new strength. Beloved soul, the Creator decrees plainly that your truest and most lasting prosperity is woven directly into that God-given purpose, and that as you take courageous steps toward it, the necessary provision faithfully follows behind you every step of the way, because all of heaven fully funds whatever heaven itself assigns to a willing soul. Understand clearly that you are not chasing this alone, for the resources of the Most High stand ready and waiting to back the very thing He created you specifically to do in this generation, and that is a promise sealed and certain. If these decrees resonate deeply with the truest part of your listening spirit, keep watching faithfully until the very end, because Archangel Michael has so much more still to reveal to you, and the Father Himself is about to speak directly to the very heart of what you have been quietly carrying, the tender and hidden place within you that has waited the longest of all to finally be healed and set free. Beloved soul, these declarations are not merely words to be heard once and forgotten in the noise of tomorrow, they are living decrees actively working on your behalf in the unseen realm even now, rearranging your reality piece by piece while you simply remain present and open before God. Stay close and stay open, because the deepest and most personal part of this entire encounter is still drawing near to you, and heaven is warmly inviting you into it with open arms, promising that what comes next will touch the exact place you most need to be touched. Beloved soul, God the Father now gently turns the full weight of His attention toward the part of you that you protect the most carefully of all, the hidden inner place where old wounds still quietly live and ache, and He speaks to it directly with a tenderness that no earthly voice has ever once offered you in your entire life. He says clearly that the shame you have carried was never yours to wear in the first place, that the guilt you have gripped so tightly has already been fully dissolved in the endless ocean of His grace, and that the mistakes you replay over and over in the quiet and sleepless hours have already been completely covered by a love that keeps no record of wrong. Archangel Michael steps forward and physically lifts that heaviness from your spirit, and you may genuinely feel the release arrive as a sudden lightness in your chest, a loosening of something that has held on for far too long, because heaven is actively setting you free at the very deepest level of your soul. The Father says that the child you once were, the young and hopeful one who longed so deeply to be truly seen, to be gently held, to be told clearly and often that they were enough exactly as they were, that same child is being fully embraced right now by the very Creator of the entire universe, who declares openly over you that you are enough, that you always were enough, and that your worth was never once in question at any point. Beloved soul, You have searched so long and so hard for validation in places that could never possibly hold the true measure of your value, and today the Father personally hands you a validation that no human person can ever give and that no changing circumstance can ever remove, the unshakable validation of being fully and completely known and still fully and completely loved by God Himself. Archangel Michael carries the clear message that you may now lay down the exhausting performance of endlessly proving yourself, because heaven already settled the entire matter of your worth before you ever drew your very first breath. God the Father wants you to know with certainty that the years you privately believed were wasted are being fully redeemed and restored, that the precious time you thought was permanently lost is being returned to you, and that He is entirely capable of giving back to you in a single season what harsh circumstances tried to steal across many long and difficult years. Beloved soul, the Creator does not ever truly lose anything at all. He simply repurposes it with divine wisdom, and even the painful detours you now deeply regret were being carefully woven into a larger design far more beautiful than the straight and easy path could ever have produced in your life. What genuinely looked like a devastating setback was secretly a setup for something greater, and what honestly felt like a final ending was in truth a loving redirection guiding you towards something the Father always knew you were built and destined to receive. Archangel Michael reveals openly that the fullness of this deep redemption is beginning to unfold right now. If your heart is truly receiving this healing in this moment, let it be sealed and honored by pressing the like button now, not as a small or meaningless gesture but as a genuine spiritual act of full agreement, a real and deliberate way of telling all of heaven that you gladly accept the complete freedom the Father is freely offering and that you align yourself fully with everything being spoken over your life. Beloved soul, when you press that button you personally open a living channel of divine favor, you clearly signal your readiness to receive, and Archangel Michael takes that agreement and multiplies its effect across every single area of your life that you have willingly surrendered over to God. This simple act connects your visible action in the physical world to the invisible movement happening in the spiritual realm, and heaven honors and responds to that kind of active and demonstrated faith with immediate and tangible results that begin to show themselves quickly. Stay closely with this message now, beloved soul, because the Father is even now moving steadily toward the sacred prayer He has personally prepared just for you, a prayer that will firmly anchor everything that has already been spoken and carry all of it forward into the days and weeks and seasons that lie ahead of you. The deepest and most intimate part of this entire holy encounter is still yet to come, and heaven is warmly and personally inviting you into it with wide open arms and a promise that will not fail. Do not turn away now when you stand this close to the fullness of the blessing, for the very thing your soul has quietly ached for across so many years is drawing near to you in these final movements, and the Creator Himself is preparing to speak over you as a loving father speaks over a beloved and long-awaited child who has finally come home to rest. Beloved soul, the Creator clearly sees the one specific situation that has been quietly weighing down on your mind, the exact concern you find yourself thinking about the instant everything else in your life finally grows quiet, and He says with certainty that He has already gone on ahead of you into that very circumstance and personally prepared an outcome that will genuinely surprise you with the depth of its goodness. You have carried that particular concern alone for long enough now, silently rehearsing every possible painful ending late into the night, and the Father now warmly invites you to hand it over to Him fully and completely, because He alone specializes in the very thing that currently feels most impossible to you. Archangel Michael declares openly that the resolution is far closer than you presently imagine, that it is being carefully arranged in the unseen realm even as you read these exact words, and that your only real part in it is simply to trust and to remain open while heaven faithfully completes what heaven has already begun on your behalf. God the Father genuinely wants you to release the exhausting need to control exactly how the answer finally arrives to you, because the way that He brings a true breakthrough is so often far gentler and far more complete than the way you would have anxiously forced it into being on your own. Beloved soul, whatever is truly meant for you will reach you wrapped in peace and never in painful struggle, arriving perhaps through an unexpected phone call, a simple message, a bright idea that drops suddenly into your mind from seemingly nowhere at all, or a door that swings wide open without you ever having to knock upon it. And when it finally comes you will instantly recognize the unmistakable fingerprint of God resting upon it. The Creator says clearly that you may now fully stop chasing after what is quietly leaving your life and stop grieving over what is being carefully removed, because He never once takes a single thing away without already preparing something far better to take its rightful place, and every exchange he makes is always in your favor. Archangel Michael reveals that the fresh ideas now beginning to stir within your active mind, the sudden bright inspirations and the quiet gentle nudges pushing you towards specific action, are genuine downloads sent directly from heaven, actual blueprints that the Father is faithfully sending to guide you step by step toward the abundance He has already fully prepared for you. Beloved soul, deeply honor those quiet nudges, take the time to write them down carefully, and faithfully act upon even the smallest of them, because your simple obedience to those quiet inner promptings is precisely how you actively cooperate with the powerful movement of God in your life, and each single step of genuine faith visibly accelerates the full unfolding of your promised breakthrough. The Creator says plainly that your true prosperity is directly linked to your daily alignment with Him, and that as you learn to move in perfect rhythm with His loving guidance, the needed provision faithfully meets you at every important intersection of your journey. The Father now declares openly that a genuine divine connection is being deliberately drawn toward you, a specific soul who will instantly recognize your light without ever once asking you to dim it or hide it, someone who arrives carrying real healing rather than fresh harm and offering true answers rather than yet more painful questions. Beloved soul, you were never once meant to walk out the fullness of your purpose alone and unsupported, and the Creator is even now making genuine room in your life by lovingly moving out whatever no longer truly fits so that whatever is truly meant for you can finally enter into your world with grace and ease. This connection is being led straight to you across time and distance by the direct hand of heaven, and Archangel Michael confirms that your soul was fashioned for a companionship and a community that recognizes and honors the gift that you carry within you. If you genuinely believe that this connection and this breakthrough are truly meant for you, type the words "I am ready to receive" in the comments below, and let that spoken declaration set an unbreakable spiritual law firmly into motion on your behalf, because all of heaven responds instantly to the confident voice of active faith, and Archangel Michael personally carries your spoken words directly before the throne of grace above. Beloved soul, do not merely wish quietly for these things in the silence of your heart, but declare them openly and boldly as a son or daughter of the Most High who fully knows that their inheritance is already secured and waiting, because there is real and creative power in the words your mouth chooses to speak in agreement with the will of God. Stay very close now, beloved soul, because the deeply personal prayer that the Father has prepared just for you is drawing very near, and it will change something real within you. Beloved soul, God the Father now speaks tenderly and directly to the deep tiredness that lives quietly beneath your practiced smile, the heavy exhaustion that you have learned to hide so skillfully that even the people closest to you in this life cannot see it clearly, and He says that He has personally come to carry you through the very seasons when your own natural strength has finally run thin and dry. You have been so strong for so many other people for so very long that you honestly forgot you were ever allowed to be the one who is held and comforted, and today the Creator Himself holds you, wraps His tangible presence fully around every weary and aching place within you, and gently whispers to your listening spirit that you are truly allowed to rest now because He has personally taken full command of everything that presently concerns you. Archangel Michael stands as a living shield surrounding you on every side, and the deep peace now descending upon you in this moment is the Father lovingly answering the very prayer you were once far too tired to even fully speak aloud. The Creator says plainly that you are now being fully restored at every single level of your being all at once, that the restful sleep which so long eluded you is finally returning to your nights, that the quiet confidence which slowly faded away is being carefully rebuilt within you, that the genuine joy which came to feel so distant is even now steadily finding its way back home to you, and that a lasting and unshakable peace is settling deep into the very foundation of your life like a wide river that simply never runs dry no matter the season. Beloved soul, understand clearly that this is not merely surface-level repair meant to get you through another difficult week. This is genuine destiny-level restoration, the deep kind that changes not only your outward circumstances but the very way you personally experience your own existence from the inside out. The Father declares with certainty that you will wake very soon feeling far lighter than you have felt in years, carrying new energy in your rested body, new clarity in your quieted mind, and a completely renewed hunger for the abundant life He created you specifically to live to the full. God the Father genuinely wants you to understand that the deep healing now reaching you flows far beyond your own single life and pours directly into your entire bloodline, that you personally are the chosen one appointed to break the painful patterns that have quietly repeated themselves across many generations of your family, And that your steady faithfulness in the fire is even now actively rewriting the entire spiritual inheritance of every soul who comes after you. Beloved soul, the fierce storms you weathered across the years were so intense precisely because you were specifically assigned by heaven to be the one who finally ends the long cycle, the courageous one who stands firm and says with authority that it stops right here with me, and all of heaven deeply honors that sacred assignment by pouring a rich generational blessing straight through your open and willing life. Archangel Michael reveals clearly that your children, whether they are already born or still yet to come, will walk in a genuine freedom made fully possible by everything you personally chose to overcome. The Father says with love that the deep sensitivity you sometimes quietly tried to hide from the world, the profound depth of your feeling, the sharp awareness of things that others around you simply cannot perceive, is in truth a sacred and precious gift and never once a weakness. And He lovingly asks you now to fully stop numbing it in order to somehow fit into the small spaces that were honestly never meant to hold a soul as expansive as yours. Beloved soul, you were deliberately designed by heaven to be genuinely different, to faithfully carry real light into the specific places that have known only deep darkness, and that very difference in you is precisely what makes you so valuable to heaven and so genuinely useful to the great purpose you carry within. The Creator declares openly that you are even now being carefully prepared for entire rooms you do not yet know exist, and that when you finally do enter them your spirit will instantly recognize that God faithfully went ahead of you and personally made a place. Stay closely with this message, beloved soul, because the Father is now fully ready to pray directly over you and over your life, and this coming prayer is the firm anchor of absolutely everything that has already been spoken over you in this entire encounter. Do not turn away now, for you stand so very close to the deepest heart of this whole holy moment, and the words the Creator is about to speak are meant to seal every decree, every healing, and every promise firmly into the days and seasons ahead of you. Let your breathing slow and let your shoulders soften as you prepare your heart, because heaven is drawing near to meet you personally and intimately, and what the Father speaks next is a covenant blessing that will echo within your spirit long after this present moment has quietly passed and the screen before you has gone dark and still. Beloved soul, let us now enter fully into the prayer together, and as you carefully read these sacred words let them slowly become the very breath of your own spirit, a living meditation that you personally receive deep within rather than merely observe from a distance, because God the Father Himself is speaking this blessing directly over your life right now and Archangel Michael stands close beside you with his great wings fully extended to seal every single word that is spoken. Breathe in slowly and deeply now, and gently let your shoulders soften and fall. Consciously feel the warm and tangible presence of the Creator completely surrounding you on every side, and allow your guarded heart to finally open wide like a heavy door that has patiently waited a very long time to be opened at last. This is holy and sacred ground, this quiet space where you now sit reading, and all of heaven has drawn genuinely near to personally meet with you exactly where you are, precisely as you are, with nothing at all required of you but your willing and open presence. Father, Creator of all that is and all that ever will be, I come into this sacred moment with a fully open heart and a completely willing spirit, and I gratefully receive the vast love that you are pouring over me right now in this very hour. I thank you sincerely that I am truly seen by you, that I am fully known by you, and that I am held securely by the very hands that first formed the great mountains and yet still lovingly remember the exact number of every tear I have ever quietly cried. I willingly release into your faithful keeping every heavy burden I have carried for so long, every anxious worry that has stolen away my rest, every cold fear that has whispered the lie that I am somehow alone in this world, and I gladly trade all of them for the perfect peace that you are now freely offering me, the deep peace that firmly anchors my soul and carefully guards my heart. I receive your complete restoration flowing into my body, your bright clarity settling into my mind, and your rich abundance filling every single area of my life, and I boldly declare that your goodness and mercy are actively following me all the days that lie ahead of me. Beloved soul, continue to breathe slowly and deeply now as the Father faithfully speaks His blessing directly over you, and gently let these sacred words wash fully through the very deepest and most hidden places within you. May you be completely filled to overflowing with a genuine joy that no outer circumstance can ever shake or steal, a quiet confidence that rises up naturally from truly knowing whose beloved child you are, and a living hope that reaches forward into your unknown future and actively pulls goodness backward into your present moment. May your every step be carefully ordered and directed by heaven itself, may your path forward be brightly lit by unmerited grace, and may every single door that is truly meant for you open wide at exactly the right appointed time, requiring absolutely no forcing or striving on your part, only your faithful and trusting presence standing ready before it. May the genuine connections meant to richly bless your life faithfully find their way to you, and may this long season of painful isolation now give way fully to a warm community that instantly recognizes your light and openly celebrates the true gift that you are to this world. Father, I now choose to align myself fully and completely with your perfect will for my life, and I say a clear and confident yes to absolutely everything that you are lovingly bringing into my life, a resounding yes to love, a grateful yes to healing, a hopeful yes to provision, a courageous yes to purpose, and a peaceful yes to the deep peace that surpasses all of my human understanding. I boldly declare right now that my miracle is already here, firmly established and finished in the spiritual realm above and steadily arriving into the physical world around me, and I gladly receive it with a heart full of genuine gratitude and unshakable faith. Beloved soul, carefully hold this sacred prayer within the very center of your heart as you move through all the coming days, and let it faithfully remind you again and again that the holy covenant made here in this moment is fully sealed and completely unbreakable by any power in heaven or on earth or under the earth, for what God has spoken over you stands firm forever. If this prayer has genuinely touched and moved your listening spirit in any real way, type the single word Amen in the comments below as your personal and public agreement with all of heaven, and let your spoken Amen be the confident declaration of one who already fully knows deep within that their promised breakthrough is even now actively in motion toward them. Beloved soul, do not type it merely out of empty habit or routine, but speak it and write it as a true warrior of faith boldly claiming a certain victory that has already been won on their behalf in the unseen realm. Stay present just a moment longer now, because the Father still has one final and important word that He lovingly wishes to place firmly upon your life before this sacred encounter comes to its close, and this last word carries the seal that keeps everything spoken active and working in your favor across all the days to come. Remain close and open, for heaven is not yet finished speaking blessing over you. Beloved soul, breathe in once more slowly and deeply, and as you do, allow the Father to speak this next portion of the blessing into the very core of who you are, because there are places within you that have never once been reached by human comfort, and it is precisely those hidden places that heaven is now personally touching with healing hands. May every silent battle you ever fought behind closed doors, every tear that fell where no one could see, and every quiet act of faith that no one ever praised, now return to you transformed and multiplied as pure blessing, because the Father carefully kept the full record of all of it and lost none of it along the way. May the exhaustion lift from your bones, may fresh strength rise within your spirit, and may you come to know experientially that you were never once carrying the weight of your life alone, for the everlasting arms have always been underneath you, holding you up even in the moments you were certain you would surely fall. Father, I receive your fresh anointing over my mind, and I declare that clear and creative thoughts now flow freely within me, that wisdom rises to meet every decision I must make, and that the confusion which once clouded my way is fully lifted and gone. I receive your anointing over my hands, and I declare that everything I set them to now prospers and bears good fruit, that the work I do is blessed, and that my labor produces genuine and lasting increase. I receive your anointing over my relationships, and I declare that peace now rules my home, that reconciliation flows where there was division, and that the souls meant to walk with me are drawn near while the weights that drain me quietly depart. Beloved soul, let each of these declarations settle into you now, for they are not spoken into empty air, they are spoken into an atmosphere where heaven is actively listening and faithfully responding to the agreement of your open heart with the will of your loving Father above. May your nights become restful and your sleep become deep and sweet, beloved soul, and may you wake each morning with a renewed sense that today holds genuine good for you, that favor goes before you into every room you enter, and that the Creator Himself has already prepared good things along the path you will walk. May your finances stabilize and steadily increase, may the anxiety that once gripped your chest release its hold completely, and may provision reach you through avenues you never expected and could not have arranged on your own. May your body be strong and your health be restored, may your energy return, and may vitality flow through you as a visible sign that the Father is renewing your very life from the inside out. Beloved soul, These are the outworkings of a blessing spoken by the one who lacks nothing and withholds no good thing from the children who trust him fully with the whole of their lives. Father, I now fully surrender the timing of every promise into your faithful hands, trusting completely that you are never late and never early but always perfectly and precisely on time, and I release my anxious grip on the how and the when, choosing instead to rest in the certainty of your unfailing goodness toward me. I declare that I will recognize your hand when the breakthrough arrives, that I will steward it wisely and gratefully, and that I will testify openly of your faithfulness so that others might find fresh hope through the story of what you have done in my life. Beloved soul, let this surrender be genuine and complete, for there is a deep and lasting peace that comes only when you finally stop striving to control what was always meant to rest securely in the hands of God, and heaven honors that surrender by moving swiftly and powerfully on behalf of the trusting heart that has learned at last to let go and believe. Beloved soul, as this sacred prayer draws toward its gentle close, take one final slow breath and simply rest for a moment in the presence that surrounds you, letting the truth of everything spoken settle fully into your spirit like water soaking deep into thirsty ground. You are loved beyond all measure, you are held beyond all fear, and you are chosen beyond all doubt, and nothing that has happened to you and nothing that lies ahead of you can ever change the settled reality of how completely the Father treasures you. Archangel Michael now seals this prayer over your life with the full authority of heaven, and every word spoken here becomes an active covenant working faithfully on your behalf across all the days to come. Stay present just a little longer, beloved soul, for the Father has a final and powerful word to place upon you now, a closing blessing that carries everything forward into your future and anchors it there permanently, and heaven is inviting you to receive it fully. Beloved soul, God the Father now brings this entire sacred encounter toward its final sealing, and Archangel Michael steps forward one last time to carefully place the final piece of this message deep into your spirit, the crucial piece that carries everything that has been spoken forward into the days and weeks and seasons that lie ahead of you. The Creator says with certainty that the long mourning of every old disappointment is now fully complete, and that the genuine celebration of your entirely new chapter begins in this very moment, and He lovingly asks you now to lift your eyes fully away from everything that was ever lost and to fix them steadily upon everything that is now clearly arriving. You are being personally handed a bright torch of divine wisdom and strength, beloved soul, and it is meant to light not only your own path forward but also the paths of the many souls who will one day walk behind you and draw their courage directly from the living example of your faith. The Father declares openly that in the coming days you will begin to clearly see specific signs that lovingly confirm everything that has been spoken over you here, and these signs will be deeply personal and completely unmistakable, carefully arranged by heaven itself to remind you again and again that this holy encounter was genuinely real. It may come as a familiar song that returns to you at the perfect and precise moment, a particular number that repeats itself until you finally take notice of it, a simple phrase spoken by a passing stranger that lands directly in the center of your soul as if it were meant only for you, or a sudden deep knowing that arrives quietly without any human explanation at all. Beloved soul, when these signs faithfully come to you, receive each one of them fully as a genuine confirmation from heaven rather than a mere coincidence of chance, because Archangel Michael reveals plainly that they are heaven's own personal way of gently telling you that the covenant is fully active and the blessing is steadily unfolding exactly as it was promised to you. God the Father says with certainty that true love never once fades and that genuine grace never expires or runs out, and that the powerful word spoken over you on this day will continue to echo faithfully within your spirit long after this present moment has quietly ended, working steadily beneath the visible surface of your everyday life to bring about the complete transformation that He has already firmly decreed. Beloved soul, you are genuinely not the same person you were when this message first began, because something real and significant shifted within the unseen realm while you faithfully stayed present and listened with an open heart. A heavy wall came fully down, a binding chain released its grip, a long-shut door opened wide, and though all of that movement was completely silent, its lasting effect within your life will prove to be entirely unmistakable. The Creator declares that your simple obedience to remain until the very end has granted you full access to the complete fullness of this blessing, because heaven itself moves not by force but by faith. Beloved soul, carefully seal this holy covenant now by making certain that you are fully subscribed to this channel, because Archangel Michael has many more divine revelations already prepared and waiting specifically for you, and the Father genuinely wants you connected to the steady stream of guidance that is still yet to come your way. And by staying aligned, you personally position yourself to receive each future message at the exact appointed moment it is meant to reach you. If this sacred encounter has truly moved your heart in any real and lasting way, then share it freely with at least one other person who genuinely needs their own breakthrough today, because the same anointing that has personally touched your life multiplies powerfully as you become a willing channel of blessing for another soul in need, and all of heaven deeply honors the open and giving hand. Type the words "My miracle is here" in the comments below, not as a distant hope but as a settled and present reality, and let heaven itself hear the confident faith rising from your spirit in this moment. Go forward now fully in peace and completely in power, beloved soul, knowing with total certainty that you walk every single day covered entirely by the mighty protection of the Most High God, guided faithfully by the perfect wisdom of the Creator of all things, and personally escorted step by step by Archangel Michael himself toward the abundant and beautiful future that God the Father has already fully prepared and reserved just for you. The blessing spoken here is genuinely yours to keep and to walk in, the bright future opening before you is truly yours to step into with confidence, and all of heaven stands actively with you and for you until the very end of all your days upon this earth. Lift your head high, straighten your shoulders, and move forward now as the deeply loved and fully chosen child that you have always been in the eyes of your Father, for the season of striving has ended and the season of receiving has fully begun, and everything that was spoken over you today is already faithfully at work bringing it all to pass in perfect divine timing. The blessing is yours, the future is yours, and heaven walks beside you always.